from a bad year this year, being outside of the playoff picture, to being back in the playoff picture next year. Just before we get into the list, if you could describe what you believe will be the chance that the Patriots are back in the playoffs, how do you describe that? What's the likelihood of that, Zo?
45%.
Not even a coin flip.
No. Can't put a coin flip yet.
All right.
You have so many holes.
I'm with you, though. Like that.
I expect them to be in the playoffs or sniffing it. Just, you need a lot of help. I mean, they'll be a better team. I just don't know if, 7 wins isn't getting you in.
I don't think they're getting in. I'd be over the freaking moon if they did.
Yeah.
I don't. But that's not. That's being less than fair to them, or I should say, be more than fair to them.
Yeah.
Right.
They should be in the mix next year.
What's your excuse to not be in the mix?
Right.
You have high draft capital and tons of money.
You got a quarterback.
Why can't you?
And a
you
good
have
coach.
a quarterback and a good coach. Why can't you get to the playoffs? It speaks to me not having enough trust in them to actually do it.
Correct.
That's
you
all.
don't trust the front office.
Because it's not unfair to say they should be in the playoffs.
Yes.
You were going to say McComb.
No, a competitive football team. They need to be a competitive football team. And barring a disaster of an offseason, you would think that they're going to be in the mix. I'm with Zoe. About 40%.
I'd say less. I'm going to go 1-3.
Okay.
33%.
All right.
1-3, Sean. And we talked about the 1-3. 1-3 teams typically will have a big rebound when it comes to bad teams with 4 wins or less. We went over those statistics last week. Here is how The Athletic ranks it. Ranking the 18 NFL teams that missed the playoffs. Who's most likely to rebound in 2025? That is their headline. Number 1 is the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 9-8 this year.
Makes sense.
That's the right answer.
That is the right answer.
That should be number 1 with the quarterback.
Is that the best quarterback not in the playoffs?
Yes.
I believe it is.
Yes. People are saying he's MVP.
Number 2. I don't know that you will say this quarterback should be MVP. It is Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, who finished the year 7-10 and will have a new head coach going into next season.
Don't trust him. Something's off with that team.
Oh, let me throw a variable in there. Bill Belichick becomes their head coach.
Yes. You're talking about greatest coach ever.
All right. They've got him as number 2. But let's just start here. Are they more or less likely to get to the playoffs than the Patriots?
They are more likely.
More, so they didn't get it wrong,
Yeah.
having them ahead of the Pats. The Miami Dolphins, they were 8-9 this year. If Tua remains healthy, big if, as always, they still have Tyreek Hill. I think that situation is probably going to settle down.
It's going to settle down, but something's off with that team. They're starting to hit that wall. Defense is coming unraveled.
They didn't seem to be hitting that wall in November against New England. So I have no issue with them being ahead of the Patriots on this list.
I way too high. I think it's over for them.
That's fair, but
I put them maybe just getting it.
higher or lower chances of being in the playoffs
Higher.
than New England.
Higher.
But
And
you're
you
getting
guys-
into the conversation.
But you have them ranked third.
You guys think they suck,
I
and
do.
you're like, yep, but they got a better chance than the Pats.
You have them third.
That's discouraging.
You have them third.
What do you mean? I don't have them third.
You just went Cincinnati.
The Athletic
Dallas.
has them third.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't jive that. I could jive them maybe 10th.
Well, that's not the debate we're having. The debate we're having here is, did they put any teams ahead of the Patriots that don't deserve it?
Right.
And I don't think the Dolphins qualified. They deserve to be ahead of the Patriots.
It just feels like it's kind of unraveling for Mike McDaniel.
Well, I can't imagine what you truly think about the Pats. Number 4, a 10-win team this year. The only 10-win team to miss the playoffs was the Seattle Seahawks. They will have a new offensive coordinator. The Athletic writes, can that new hire squeeze another serviceable season out of Geno Smith?
That's my question for debate.
Debate it.
I don't
It's Mike Jones for
I think,
the Athletic.
I think Geno's decent. He's a placeholder. He's not a guy that's going to carry into the playoffs and get you over the hump.
Well, I like their odds more than I like New England's, and I like that they've got a defensive-minded head coach that is working, which is proof that you can hire a defensive-minded head coach that works in this day and age. Mm-hmm. Mike McDonald is certainly that. Number 5. Now we're starting to get into murky waters, gentlemen.
Oh, boy.
The 8-9 Atlanta Falcons were on the verge of the playoffs. They obviously uncovered something at the end of the year, putting Michael Penix onto the field. So they will not have Kirk Cousins. They will have Michael Penix. Could Michael Penix become a star next year? You love Michael Penix. You're a big fan of his. Should they feel good about their chances of rebounding and getting in the playoffs? Better than the Patriots?
Yeah, your roster is more talented. Yes.
Yep, I say yes.
They have weapons, man. They have legit weapons.
That's a yes. But now we're getting into those 8, 7, 6, 5-win teams. Next,
Don't you dare go Jets.
is the Arizona Cardinals. 8-9 this year.
They're just meh. But they're better than you. So
Should they be next year?
They got your guy, Marvin Harrison Jr. You wanted him over Drake May at one point. What if he finally becomes the player he was supposed to be?
Should the Cardinals have a better record than you next year?
Yes.
they should.
Should. Yeah. Will they? I don't know.
They beat your ass.
You got a new coach. Drake May, year 2. Oh, come on. Be better than Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Maybe if Chip Kelly's the OC. Is it unfair to put them ahead of the Patriots? I don't believe
No, it's not unfair. It's not unfair, but
They've earned it.
Not
you
unfair.
You should be shooting to be a better team than the Cardinals.
Here's one that should be higher on the list and isn't. It's number 7, the San Francisco 49ers.
They're depleted by injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get their guys back healthy, they're back in.
Not much to say there. 8th, the Carolina Panthers, 5-12 this year.
Stop.
Bryce Young is their quarterback.
No.
This is one where I say, no effing way.
If that team's better than you, you got problems.
Yes.
You stink.
This one feels like this is offensive now.
If Vrabel can't do it, if Vrabel and May, that combination can't do better than them, then you got problems.
And Canales may not suck, by the way, but he doesn't have the quarterback piece.
Right.
At least I don't believe he does.
No.
He doesn't have the experience of Vrabel either.
I know they won a couple games there at the end of the year, but
They have young receivers.
I'm not sure that quarterback thing is figured out. Number 9 is the Indianapolis Colts.
No, that's stop. Stop. They don't have a quarterback.
Oh, the quarterback that engineered a 19-play drive right down your throat?
That's right.
And then hit 3 fourth downs and a 2-point conversion?
Shoved it up the Patriots' backside.
You couldn't even touch? Yeah, I'd give them it. Yeah.
Stop. You don't mean that, son.
Good offensive? Yeah, I do. I called that game. I was more upset about that game. That game and the Miami game were the 2 most upsetting games to me.
You're still upset about it.
Yeah. That was embarrassing.
You want to know what they wrote about the Colts?
Yeah.
The roster was solid enough for the Colts to flirt with a playoff berth in both of Shane Steichen's first 2 years as head coach. But there are still very big questions about quarterback Anthony Richardson and whether he has the mental fortitude necessary to finally blossom into the difference maker that could elevate Indy from 8-9 to 11-6. There's no shot he is winning 11 games.
This is the same guy that took himself out of the game. Their franchise quarterback said, I'm a little tired.
I'll tell you what, it is unique. It is bold. It's a different way.
He was resting for your
different
game.
way of doing business.
Yes. Yeah.
Multiple ways to skin a cat there, McGone. I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with the Panthers. I don't agree with the Colts. This is where it gets interesting. Number 10. 1 spot ahead of the 11th ranked Patriots on the list. The Bears. 5-12 this year. Caleb Williams obviously had some issues there. The Bears fired their OC. Then they fired their head coach. Now they've hired Ben Johnson. We now have that knowledge. This was written before they hired Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Now, Drake May had a better year, I think, than Caleb Williams. That's how I feel about it. Which coach-quarterback combination should a fan base be more excited about? Ben Johnson working with the first overall pick of a year ago, or a defensive-minded Mike Vrabel taking over Drake May's team?
Hey.
You should be more excited about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
But you have reservations about the quarterback. That's
sure, but I got no issue with them being ahead of the Patriots for this.
Yeah. They got receivers.
I don't.
They got receivers.
And I don't think they have a very good chance of turning it around and making the playoffs.
Right.
And they've got better pieces.
They're quick to
better roster.
Quick to 5 wins.
Much better roster. 11th is the Patriots. 4-13 on the year. Mike Jones, Athletic, writes, Drake May was the bright spot of another season of regression for the once proud franchise. Mike Vrabel brings credibility and hope. A deep collection of draft picks and gobs of salary cap space. Again, I don't know why we keep referencing that thing like it matters. But they've got all kinds of salary cap space, and it could lead to a significantly upgraded roster in 2025. But even the Athletic and Mike Jones are telling you they don't believe in it because they would have had them higher on the list.
Yeah.
They're 11th. 11th of 18. And I disagree with 2. Panthers and Colts. So they really should have been a couple of more spots higher.
Ninth.
Yeah.
Yes. It should have been 9th.
Let's go, Mike. Get him going, buddy.
Should have been 9th. Give us 9th,
Let's
would
go,
you?
Vrabes.
The 9th most likely team to make it back to the playoffs next year. Yikes. Ugh. I'd like to do the exercise in reverse if you don't mind.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.